professional athlete will face difficulties throughout his career. Game pressures, injuries, and poor seasons are inevitable, but then there are those few who refuse to accept failure. Instead, they choose excellence. These are the ones who are remembered.
Let's go, win on three. 1, 2, 3.
Dan Kennedy started his career at UC Santa Barbara, an NCAA team that had never been to the playoffs. In his sophomore year, Kennedy led the Gouchos to their first ever playoff appearance, along the way stacking up an impeccable 84-game consecutive start.
Great stuff by Kennedy.
But Dan's hopes of a pro career would soon be jeopardized in one chilling moment that almost ended his life.
My family and I and a good family friend were driving home from dinner in Santa Barbara, and I mean, this was kind of what my parents did in college. They came up and we'd go out to dinner the night before a game, and it was just a great experience. On one of our drives home, we were coming down from Santa Maria back into Santa Barbara on the 101, 2-lane southbound. This girl had been drinking. She was a drunk driver.
Recklessly speeding on the freeway, the intoxicated driver swerved across the grass median and was now on track for a head-on collision with Dan's car.
Swerved off, it went into this field, and I was thinking that it was maybe going to come back on and hit us, so I just let my foot off the gas, and the next thing I knew is I looked up, all I saw was headlights. It was really just a full impact, and that was, you can imagine, you know, how severe the accident was.
Astonishingly,
Mangled,
everyone involved survived.
Said, it protected us.
Dan even went on to play the next day and would eventually lead his team to the NCAA finals in his senior year.
Dan Kennedy, but what a big save.
And that was while I was in college, you know, so if anything really went wrong then, I probably would have never had a chance to play professionally.
One of the most dangerous plays in soccer is the 1v1. A forward will charge at top speed directly toward a goalkeeper. Neither one will back down. It becomes a game of nerve, quick decisions, and raw power, all unfolding in a matter of seconds. Let's take a look at the 3D digital analysis. The defender was so far behind the forward he had no chance of stopping the ball. So the forward really had all the advantage here. You see how the forward is positioned to send the ball in a few different directions. He could send it through the keeper's legs, to the right, or slip it over his left leg. Kennedy was already committed, but a seasoned Kennedy read the play, and with a last-second switch, made the deflection. After graduating from UC Santa Barbara, Kennedy was selected in the 2005 draft by the New Kids on the Block, Chivas USA, opting to play for the First Division Puerto Rico Islanders. The rookie keeper turned down the offer. We met with Kennedy in Long Beach on his day off and asked him about his decision.
You know, the MLS, when I entered college in 2001, the MLS was still so new, and, you know, I was unsure of where professional soccer would be in the United States.
At the end of his first season, he was named First Division Rookie of the Year. In 2007, he left the Islanders to sign with the Chilean Second Division.
It was a massive challenge for me. I feel like I grew up a lot there, both just as an individual, but also on the soccer field.
With his league-leading goals against average, he again caught the attention of the MLS.
I found out that I had the opportunity to come back here and play, and it was really a no-brainer for me to come back to Chivas USA. I was really excited about it, and now I've been here for 5 years.
Dan's dedication and commitment to excellence earned a position back home in the majors. Midway through the season, starting keeper Brad Gouchos left the team. It might have been an opportunity for Kennedy to step into the starter spot, but the coaching staff opted to bring in 6'3", 230-pound, proven MVP, Zach Thornton. Just 7 games later, Thornton went down with a thigh injury and was unable to continue. It was late in the season, and the team was heading for the playoffs. Expectations were high. Dan knew it would not be easy filling in for the 6-time MLS All Star. Kennedy was now on his way to his first ever Major League playoff game. But in the last game of the regular season, a red card ejection forced him out. Kennedy's hopes of becoming a starter concluded with the GOAT's early playoff elimination.
American keepers have proven themselves in Europe, and obviously this league has a solid group of young American goalkeepers. And with that being said, it's very well respected. Tim Howard's doing extremely well. Brad Friedel's done well. Casey Keller, Marcus Hanneman. I mean, the list goes on. Brad goes on. There's been just a number of great goalkeepers that have gone on to Europe and done really well. Whether it's a combination of how we grow up playing basketball and football and these hand-eye coordination sports, or it's just good training. Some of the best goalkeepers in the world are the captains of their team. Casillas comes to mind, obviously. You're going to be called upon to make some big plays. And that's just part of the job. A lot of times, if the game's going against you and you can find a way to make a big play, that lifts your team.
Before the 2009 season began, Kennedy suffered a major knee injury requiring surgery. He would not return until the following year. After a stringent and vigorous rehabilitation, a strong and healthy Dan Kennedy returned to action. An eager, now healthy Dan Kennedy was put on the field. Dan made saves. The team was doing well. It seemed like the coach had no intention of pulling him out. But on August 7th, in a tough physical game against Toronto FC, Kennedy tore a tendon in his bicep, one of the most painful injuries a player can receive. A tough-as-nails Kennedy dismissed the pain and finished the full 90 minutes. After the game, doctors took a closer look at the damaged muscle. Surgery was necessary.
St. Jude reached out to Chivas USA and me to become an ambassador for St. Jude. I just remember being a young kid and looking up to athletes, and I don't always consider myself like that, but hopefully, to some kids I can just brighten their day a little bit. So just to go and support them and make them feel special is kind of my goal. A lot of the days go by, you worry about your own problems, and my problems are very minimal. I'm worried about winning and losing games a lot of the time. Yeah, it's a major reality check to how cruel this world could be, right? So with that being said, it's nice to just try to have a positive influence in such a negative situation.
The beginning of the 2011 season again saw a now healthy Dan Kennedy warming the GOAT's bench. While it might have been a great view, it was not the view Kennedy wanted. After only 2 games, the coaching staff gave Kennedy the nod. Zach Thornton, the decorated 6-time All-Star veteran keeper, was no longer able to keep up with the ever-stronger and faster MLS. His slow decision and reaction time was costing the team games. In 2011, Dan Kennedy got his chance to show the coach he deserved to be one of the starting 11. And what began as a substitute for one of the all-time best keepers solidified into a full-time starter spot and led to a multi-year contract.
Let's go, boys. Let's go. Let's go.
Beltran Saab, a big save! Oh, what a save by Kennedy!
The media and fans loved him. He quickly became one of the most important players in the team and a fan favorite. Kennedy was the new model for a rapidly changing MLS.
He's the last line, he sees everything, so he's giving us instruction whether he wants us to get out and pull a line, or he's telling us that he's going to come out and get the ball.
Many take for granted the position of goalkeeper. They may not be putting points on the board, but play a vital role in keeping the team alive. Kennedy has played for a struggling team in his MLS career. What professional impact does this have on him?
Said that when you talk to some of the great goalkeepers, when I ask them about their career arc, they'll always say, I played the best when I didn't have the best team in front of me. And I always think that's interesting that when a goalkeeper is on a championship caliber team, they don't have sometimes that individual success. It makes sense. A team that's struggling defensively, the goalkeeper is much more active.
He's been saving our butt a lot more than we've been saving his lately, so we got to turn that around a little bit and help him out.
Usually he's saving us, pulling some great saves off during the game.
He's been fantastic for us. He's had a great year. He's kept us in a lot of games. Sometimes he's working a little bit too much. I don't know why they haven't figured if they could just shoot it high, they would score him every time.
Think he should cut his hair?
No, I mean, I'm a big fan of hair, so I think he should grow it as long as he
to have the confidence of a great goalkeeper behind you, and he's just able to make big saves consistently.
I had the save of the game, and he's obviously a talented guy, but he has what the great ones have. It's discipline and work ethic.
I think we've been able to see Dan and all the things he's capable of in this setting where he's really had to carry the load. And I think for really a year and a half, he was able to really do a great job of masking a lot of deficiencies around him.
All too often, games are won and lost with set plays near the goal. Designated player David Beckham has made a career out of it with his signature kick. We asked Kennedy if he's ever faced a Beckham kick.
Yeah, I have. Yeah, I mean, he's definitely one of the best free kickers to ever play in this game. Part of the game plan is make sure you don't foul in and around the area because they'll punish you, and he will punish you. The good thing is if Beckham's over the ball, I've seen him take more free kicks than probably anybody else. So I try to read him. I set up the wall. I have to trust that they're going to take care of that side. I try not to get beat to my side, and if it sneaks over the wall, then I just do my best in scrambling across.
Games are often won or lost with free kicks. They are not always fair and take place with lightning speed. The only hope a defending team has against it is the wall. Let's take a look at the 3D digital analysis. In this play, the offense planned a clever maneuver. An offensive decoy was stationed near the wall. Just as the ball was kicked, the decoy ducks down and pushes the last defender out of the way, creating a massive hole. Again, Kennedy's split-second reaction was just enough to stop the shot, but just barely.
Yeah, I grew up in Yorba Linda. The reality of pro sports is that you don't usually get to choose the team that you're on, and that usually leads you somewhere else. Luckily, that's led me here, and I'm just, I'm very fortunate. There's not a lot of guys within this league, within our team, that get to play in front of their friends and family, and just to have that support system for the ups and downs of the season. It's important for me.
The bigger the board, the easier it is to ride.
just because of the buoyancy, you know. So these boards are a little less stable, a little harder to ride. They're more maneuverable. You can use these at like surfing.
In 2012, Kennedy picked up right where he left off. He made impossible saves.
Personal season.
It's in behind the flag is down. It's Will Bruin. And it's a wonder save from Dan Kennedy.
Kennedy with 100 saves last season, and he picks up right where he left off.
By Kennedy, and it's Will Bruin. Another save. Wonderful stop.
And watch him, boom. He's denied Bruin twice.
To say he was having a stellar season would be accurate. He was selected for the very first time to be an MLS All Star.
I received a phone call, and I actually didn't recognize the number, so I let it go to voicemail. It was the commissioner's assistant calling me just to let me know that I'd been selected to the All Star team.
His task was to lead a team with the likes of Beckham, Donovan, Henry, and new goal scorer record holder Wondolowski.
If you go there and you lose, everyone expected you to. And if you go there and you win, maybe you make some people, you know, turn their head a little bit and take a look.
The days of America taking a backseat to the European giants were fading.
How often have we seen this for Chivas? Dan Kennedy called upon to make a big-time save.
The All-Stars were not favored against champions Chelsea, but Kennedy and his teammates didn't go to Philadelphia to lose. Today was the day to mark a turning point for the young, tough, underdog MLS. After one of the biggest highlights of his career, first-time All-Star Dan Kennedy returned to a cheering but troubled home club. While the defense was solid, the team was struggling to make goals.
What a save by Dan Kennedy!
Even though his saves total was surpassing his all-time high, Chivas USA was not winning games. Like an NFL quarterback who depends on his running backs and receivers, Dan's offense couldn't maintain possession or create forward momentum. The coaching staff responded with changes, but the new changes were not enough. In fact, things got worse, and the team fell to last place. Soon after a devastating 6-2 loss to Seattle, the owners of Chivas parted ways.
You play this game long enough, you're going to get punished. And those games are tough and hard, you know, but you have to make sure that you stay within the game and you help your team.
Things were getting tense for everyone. Even though game attendance dropped, the high-spirited supporter groups never gave up on Dan and the red and white.
For the years that I've been here, we've definitely, you know, fought for our fans.
Maybe it was pride, maybe it was frustration, but in a late-season home game against Dallas, Dan and his team came out swinging. Their form and energy were in place. They fought with precision, pushing into the Dallas 18, firing in shot after shot. Rookie Bolanos sent dangerous crosses deep into the Dallas keeper box. Kennedy kept his defense in line and made save after save. The team was finally fighting back. It was long overdue. And then, the unexpected. Bolanos sent a clean cross deep into the box to a waiting Villafana, who made no mistake and without hesitation drove it into the back of the net. Dan is confident, that once again, he can come back and lead his team to victory.
You know, it's funny, Dan, he called me randomly about a project. Can you take a look at this? I'm really trying to do something, and it was always something for someone else.
We had some of our friends over with the kids, so we flew up the pool yesterday. That's great.